Hi everyone, this is Arcadius and welcome back to Naval. Today we'll be reviewing the second set of torpedoes for Sendai light cruiser. So the ones that we used in the first video had a range of 8 kilometers, did 64 knots, pretty decent rate of fire at 0.75, but the damage and the flood chance are lower than the first set of torpedoes that you can equip. So the first set can do 12,300 damage, but only goes 6 kilometers and do 59 knots, same rate of fire, but you also have 108.88% to flood the enemy warship if you hit it. So honestly, I would prefer the 8 kilometer torpedoes, but I can also understand why you would use the 6 kilometers, mainly for the added damage, because if you're going to be using torpedoes in this ship, you're probably going to be really up close to the target that you're shooting at, so you would want to do the most damage as possible. Straightforward though, this is not a torpedo boat by any means. You are definitely going to be a gunboat. So yeah, your torpedoes are not the main focus, but they're there to add some extra damage against targets you may face. So the ship itself is still the same stats, you have the same kind of guns, very limited AA capability, but hey, why not? With that, let's toss her into the game and see how we can do. Alright, and here results the game. Couple battleships, quite a few cruisers, and also quite a few destroyers, which is actually the best kind of game for this ship. She's not very good against battleships or carriers, but against cruisers and destroyers, she can pretty much hold her own. So let's see how we can do with that. See your torpedo angles. Oh, okay, they're not terrible. Like I said, this is not a torpedo boat by any means, however. I do have health buffs and speed buffs applied, so do keep that in mind. And let's see here, 2 Kaisers. Pretty actually low tier for that. We have a Furutaka, a Sendai, 3 Kumas, 3 Minakazes, and a Clemson. So we kind of have a mix of everything from matchmaking 3.5 to 5.0. Waystar is a really easy way to understand the matchmaking of this game, because it's not just as easy as tier 10, tier 9, tier 8. There's ships like, Sendai, who's 4.5, who gets tossed into tier 4 and tier 5 games. But then there's also ships like Bismarck at matchmaking 8.2 that gets tossed into tier 10 games. So I'm not really quite sure how the matchmaking works. I've been trying to figure it out for a while now. And there's some games where it's only a difference of matchmaking like 0.5. So you have 4.5 and 5.0. But then I've also had games where it's matchmaking 7.5 to 8.5. So it's an entire 1.0 of matchmaking. So not really quite sure. Maybe it just differs on the game. We'll see. So going back to our game, we have had limited luck with our main guns. We just got a fire though, no damage on the Furutaka. Let's actually send out some torpedoes. Actually their reload is pretty long. I expected them to be a little bit shorter, but that's fine. We got another fire. I am kind of concerned about these torpedoes on my flank, or at least the destroyers. Hopefully there's no torpedoes. But let's see what we can do against this Furutaka. I'm going to switch over to armor piercing, since against this target I would expect some decent damage, though it looks like I only had a few shells actually connect. So that was some pretty decent damage, but no fires, or citadels, as I'm set on fire. And we are kind of getting close to one of these battleships. But at least they're separate, not combined. Right, so we can citadel the Kumas pretty easily. But it seems like the Furutaka was too much of a hurdle. And honestly, I'm getting questionable results with my main guns, regardless of shell type. Alright, so let's see what we can do to this Kaiser. Gonna shoot some guns that way, or torpedoes that way. Send some shells. downrange towards this Sendai. Pop one of my heals. Looks like she's gonna ram. Oh, she's gonna try. Alright, can we finish off this Kaiser in one salvo? Yes, we can. Awesome. Alright, so, I might want to just switch back to high explosive. I really don't think my armor piercing is doing what I need it to do right now. Especially since there's the destroyer right here, I can definitely take advantage of this to deal out some nice damage numbers to her. So, even if you have quite a few guns, I would still recommend just using high explosive. It seems to be working the best for me, at least in this game. I can send a torp out towards you. You have enough health that I don't mind it, though you just maneuvered to dodge. Well, let's see if that helps any. And then we have the Clemson on this side. Let's kind of be a little proactive with our torpedoes. Wow, we missed the Sendai again. But I need to focus on this Clemson. Can we get a torpedo hit? Yes, we can. Alright. Switching the guns back over here. And we're just gonna wait for all our guns to rotate. Alright, there we go. So we are getting quite a few shatters. So I'm going to try armor piercing again. We are coming up on this Kaiser. Our torpedoes are going to be reloaded by the time we get there, hopefully. Alright, so let's finish off this Sendai. Switching targets over to this Kaiser. Gonna switch back to high explosive while we wait for our torpedoes. And there goes another ship. Alright, let's go back on this side. We're gonna launch our fighter just so we have a little bit more visibility. Not that we really need it. We do only get the one, however. That's why I haven't used her since now. And there's one destroyer left, that being one Minikaze. Let's pop another heal, since there's no real threat to us anymore. It does look like that destroyer is engaging our Kaiser over here. So hopefully, maybe those secondaries will be able to take her out. Though Kaiser secondaries do aim for the superstructure, as do all German battleships. And Minikaze doesn't really have that much superstructure, so you might get mixed results with that. So we're just going to head back to where the action is at full speed, though we are still not as fast as Minikaze, so she can still technically outrun us. But it looks like she's just engaging the Kaiser anyways. Alright, so she's over there now. Let's see, can we get a sighting on her soon? There we go. So she has about half health. Ooh, that was a good hit. Looks like the 12-inch guns on the German battleship are opening up. And German battleships actually have really, really good high explosive shells. They might not have the most damage, but they will always have the highest HE armor penetration values of any battleship, no matter what tier you are at, by quite a considerable amount. Almost always at least 3 times as much armor millimeter penetration. So for example, Gnaisna is like 95 millimeters of armor penetration from her high explosive shells, while other ships of that same tier get maybe like 30 or so. Alright, let's see if we can get a couple shots in on this Minikaze before she goes down. I highly doubt it. She is quite a fast ship, so I should be giving her a lot more lead. But it doesn't matter as she already goes down. So let's see how we did. We actually were able to use our torpedoes pretty effectively. Remember that higher damage number is quite important. And we were able to do 134,000 damage, 6 ships were sunk, 121 shell hits, 9 torpedo hits, 3 citadels, 3 fires, 3 floodings, and 5 defended caps for 4,400 base XP. 47,000 damage from our main battery, 22,000 being in high explosive, 25,000 being in armor piercing. I was kind of still disappointed with our armor piercing, however. I was expecting a bit more damage, and at least citadels in regards to that, so I probably will be sticking to high explosive, except for in instances where it is shattering, so we'll see. Fires and floodings did about 5,800 damage. And torpedoes did a pretty decent amount of 80,000 damage as well. So you can, those are mainly against the battleships. However, I did use one to sink that Clemson. But yeah, so your torpedoes are pretty decent. It doesn't really matter which ones you use. Um, in all honesty, I actually might stick with the first set, mainly because of the increased damage that you're able to get. With that, I will wrap up today's video. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe. And join me tomorrow while we go over Mogami, which is still technically a light cruiser. However, we'll be reviewing her as she is in her heavy cruiser mode with her 8-inch guns. So again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.